to Moca's and all the bells and bows. Where the love runs deep, the fam stays strong, and the bells, they always ring for us. We the bells and we hold it down. Yeah, real ones only, we don't mess around. All love, no cap, no clout to chase. Just truth in the chat and respecting the space. It's family, Moca got that heart of gold. From the south to the stream, we brave and bold. You ain't gotta pick sides or play a role. Just show a real and you already home. Pull up to the bells and bows like a Sunday seed. Got peace in the room and the vibe on beat. No drama, no mess, just minds that meet. Introduce yourself in the chat and the mods gon' greet. Real talk, we got brothers and sisters here. Ain't no fake love, every heart sincere. We've been through storms, but the skies stay clear. Loyalty live, that's the chant you hear. Woo! No chaos in the comment section. Just bells with a bond and a bold connection. Safe space, strong face, deep reflection. Mocha, don't fold, that's pure protection. If you ever felt unheard, misunderstood, pull up in the chat, we treat you good. Ain't gotta be loud, just gotta be true. Mocha got the light and we shine with you. Not a panel of pain, it's a platform of pride. Everybody got space and we don't divide. You loyal, you love, that's how we ride. Got a bell and a bow in the name, but a tribe world. From the mods to the lurkers and folks on rewatch. Every tap, every like, we feel it alive. Mocha ain't just a name, it's a vibe you caught. No la bell, no la boast, that's a family, not a thought. Bring it loud, we the bells and we hold it down. Yeah, we do. Real ones only, we don't mess around. Real talk, all love, no cap, no clout to chase. Just truth in the chat and respecting the space. It's family, Mocha got that heart of gold. From the south to the stream, we brave and bold. You ain't gotta pick sides or play a role. To show a real and you already home. Mocha said that to every bell in this space. Whether you typing, watching, or just vibing, you are this family. And over here, we don't fold, we ring. Ooh, welcome to Moca.
Hello, everybody. Happy Monday, guys. Happy Monday. It's always a pleasure to open up this live stream and see each and every one of you here. Always a pleasure. Hope everyone is doing well. Y'all see why we're here today. Y'all see why we're here. We ain't finished. They knew the whole time. They knew the whole time, y'all. But nobody else knows. Where's Naziah? But they know. They definitely know. And they knew long before that sentencing came. They knew. Something about this whole situation still ain't adding up. Still ain't adding up. Jarvis has been sentenced. So the shenanigans in the courtroom has come and gone. Has come and gone. Yet the one question that should have been answered publicly by now still haven't been answered. And it's a shame. It's a shame, Annette. It's a shame, Shannon. It's a shame, Marquita. It's a shame. Where's Naziah? Where is Naziah? And the reason, the very reason that people like you and me keep asking that question is because when you start listening to everything that has transpired from the very day that Naziah was reported as a runaway, the silence from that family makes no sense. The lies that they told makes no sense. Because now, as we've always looked at it, it's not just about what Jarvis Butts did. It's not just about what he did. It's about what they knew and when they knew it. Because again, in my opinion, they have known long before that circus. They have known long before that court opened up in the name of sentencing. It's no such thing as they heard something. They knew something. Naziah disappeared. That didn't happen into thin air. She was taken advantage of for all the years of her life. They knew that. They were a part of that. They saw that. So there's no way they could sit here and convince you or me, although they've convinced the judge. They knew nothing. And how the hell do you raise a child all these years? Supposed to know the ins and out, everything there is to know about this baby. But the point comes and you know nothing. And when you start looking at the people involved in this case, Annette, Shannon, Marquita, King, prosecutors, CPS, the school, Frank, the church. You start looking at all of these people. Then you start looking at everything that was said publicly. Then you also start looking at the things that you know that were not said. And all it does is continues to raise a bigger question. For some, it's who knew the whole time. But over here with Moca and Enola Bells, we know who knew. And the question remains, why are people still protecting the truth? What is it about Naziah Harris's story? What is it about that beautiful little girl that make these grown people, even one that calls themselves grandma, what makes these grown people feel or believe that hiding the truth that surrounds her disappearance is okay? So then you have to ask yourself, what is it that they're hiding? Who is it that they're protecting? Because at the end of the day, you look at it, I look at it, everybody looks at it, and we do know the lies that's being told, the shenanigans that's being displayed. Somebody is being protected. The question is who? The bigger question is why? The ultimate question is, why is it that Naziah, a beautiful young girl who had her whole life ahead of her, had not started living yet, reared in a house with a bunch of monsters, but yet these monsters have no regard, no respect, no care, nor concern for this baby girl that they hoop and holler for the public and calls her family. The world that I come from. If this is what you get from family, give me my divorce papers, please. I don't need to be a part of that. But the difference between me and little Naziah Harris, that baby didn't have a choice. She didn't get to choose who she called her family. And we know that baby was failed, starting with her own mother and ending in the courtroom. And we're going to talk about it. So y'all get on up in here, get on up in here. I see y'all pouring up in the room. If you're new here, welcome on in. Welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. Moca's been gone this weekend. And I must say I had a weekend. And I appreciate all the warm wishes from each and every one of you. My birthday weekend was excellent. My parents' anniversary was a bang. But I'm back to business. We open the doors tonight to come and do what we do because over here we talk about real issues. Real issues that we don't sugarcoat. So if you're here, you've made it to the porch, baby, go ahead on and hit that like button for your girl. Share this live stream out. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel, those of you in the bushes. And I would really, really appreciate if you all would double tap those emojis over there to the right. It helps the live stream and it lets YouTube know your girl is live. And if you feel in your heart to support the channel, the goal has been set tonight for super stat chats and super stickers. And before I get off into this, I want you all to know that everything discussed in this live stream is my point of view, your point of view, our opinions based on what they've put out here. Based on what they've already put out here. And what we discuss is protected under the fair use provisions of the Copyright Act of 1976. So let's get started. No labels, no labels, cousins and friends. Y'all up in this thing with Moca. I appreciate it. And if you're here and we want to get to the nitty gritty and down to justice for Naziah, flood the chat with some eyes. Annette, Shannon, Marquita, and the crew, we see you. We see you. Because what y'all got going on ain't what we picking up. It definitely ain't what we picking up. I see the eyes coming through here. Do y'all really believe? Let me ask this question. Do y'all believe Jarvis told everything he knows? Or do you think there's still more out there to be told? Do you all think there's still more to be told? Because Naziah's story is far from over. It's far from over. And what we saw in that courtroom, that's just the tip of the iceberg. That's just a pretty wings. Thank you for supporting the channel, my love. That is just the tip of the iceberg. The tip of the iceberg. There's so much more to be told. Peaches, thank you for always supporting the channel, my love. Appreciate that. Jarvis Butts, the monster that he is. Huh. This is definitely not over, guys. Cynthia Harmon said, Mocha, they know where she is. Make it make sense. And I'm pissed to the fullest. We need justice. Cynthia, baby, we all are. Absolutely, Kimberly Harris. It was definitely a shit show, baby. And the sad part about it all, that family showed us exactly who they are. They don't give a damn. And the sad part about it is, you all, they didn't give a damn then, and they don't give one now. Wendy, thank you so much, my love. Thank you so very much for supporting the channel. Thank you, my beautiful sister Rock, for dropping that copyright disclaimer on up in here. Happy Monday, everyone. Happy Monday. I see you all coming up in here. They knew. They absolutely knew. Spicy says, I've never heard or seen anything like this. These sick, demonic people. My Lord, my Lord. It's a shame, but we're going to get into it. As a grandmother, D. Cross, welcome, my love. She said the lies, baby, the lies and the shenanigans. Yes, yes. It's a shame. And I'm going to say it over and over again. Because how do you label yourself as a grandmother? How do you label yourself as an aunt? Right? But yet you sat on that stand, forcing tears, barely could read a statement that somebody else seemingly prepared for you. So you faked emotions. That alone was enough to throw you out, ma'am. That alone was more than enough to throw you out of the court. Because, PJ, thank you, my love, for supporting the channel. Because where was the judge's mind? Where was the judge's mind to sit there and listen to everything that Annette said? And he went along with it. He bought it. But the judge is next in the hot seat. Because how much corruption can keep slapping us in the face and we're supposed to accept it as if it's okay? Girl D. Cross says, nobody, no plea deal. Nobody, no plea deal. I don't care if he threw her in acid. It should have went to trial. That case was airtight. Just saying he threw her in the river is not enough. Absolutely, D. Cross. Absolutely. Because them accepting him saying that he threw her in the river, that was scripted. That was scripted for the public. As good as to say these people have been making noise for too long, so if I give them just a little something, they're going to shut the hell up. But that's the worst thing that they could have thought, because all they did was open up a wider bridge for us to keep talking. But Annette set her ass up there. And it says more than we could have ever imagined. When Annette sit there, and I'm going to say it over and over and over again, when Annette sit there and said, with Naziah being gone, she suffered financially. that told a story within itself. What do you all think she meant? What do you all think she meant when she said she suffered financially? What type of income could little 13-year-old Naziah Harris brought into that home? I want to know your thoughts. You suffered financially when Naziah left. Because Annette, I want to know, did you really run through? Did you really run through those $7,000 that quick? 2 years? You ran through it that quick. You suffered financially since Naziah's been gone. Samantha, you're on it, baby. She missed the money Naziah brought in. Star said she was getting a check for adopting her in the food stamps. I think it was a little bit more than that. Naziah is gone and so is her money. Naziah was only a paycheck for her. Absolutely. Absolutely. Dr. J said sadly she was being pimped. Absolutely, Dr. J. PJ, my girl, she said this witch was benefiting for those children, and that's exactly how she stayed afloat. Kamisha says, Mocha, now you can't forget this. And that answered the very question I just asked. Mocha, you can't forget this. The family called her Tuda. The grand monster called her glamorous. Let's not forget that. Now, what decent grandmother? Because, y'all, how the hell do you get glamorous out of Naziah? You could have called her Zah. You could, because that's what Jarvis called her, Zaza. You could have called her Nye. You could have called her anything but glamorous. But that was the working name. And you mean to tell me the judge, the prosecutor, you mean to tell me nobody saw through that? Something stinks. Something definitely stinks. I see the room. I see the room is filling up. Guys, please hit the like button for your girl. I truly appreciate it. And don't forget those emojis to the right. I see y'all up in here. Naziah was failed. And the slap in the face that hurt us the most, the injustice of it all. The court failed Naziah big time. Big time. And they want us to accept that. Steppy Jean, I see you, boo. They want us to accept that. D. Cross says Jarvis is still lying. Absolutely he is. Jarvis is still lying. He's a master manipulator. But guess what? Not only is Jarvis a master manipulator, Shannon ain't shit. Annette ain't shit. Marcus got up there and showed she was shit. And you mean to tell me y'all want America? Y'all want us to accept what y'all put down? These people, a house full of women, and all the girls went to work at the shop. All these young girls in that household, y'all sent them to an auto body shop in the name of going working. But the court want us to accept that Annette didn't know. The court wants us to accept Shan didn't know. And the courts want us to accept that Marcus didn't know. I call bullshit. Because if we could go back, Marcus said on a previous podcast, they would go make the money. They would go to the shop with Jarvis. Jarvis would pay the girls $25 each. And when he would come with the 20, give them the $25 each, Annette would take Naziah's. Shannon would take Janiah's. And Marcus would take Brooklyn's. I'm not making this up. It came out of their own mouth. So you mean to tell me the courts, y'all on social media for every damn thing else, but you mean to tell me that didn't matter? So they were very privy to what was going on. This is heartbreaking. It's so much more to this. Beautiful soul, I see you, my love. Beautiful soul, says Moca. I found out that 35 years he got. But that jail credit that is on the back end of that 60 and game time, all that is going to fall on the back end. Absolutely. He did get time served. Star, I love you, sis. Thank you so very much, Nee. She said Shannon and Annette needs to be charged immediately. And immediately. But look, it ain't over, y'all. It ain't over. She said at least with endangering and welfare. It ain't over. Because Jarvis still has a right to an appeal. Right? And who knows? After that appeal, the time for the appeal expires, they could reopen this trial. Not take away what he's admitted to, not take away his charges. But if that trial ever reopens, if this case ever reopens, not the trial, if the case ever reopens, because what was done in that trial is damn done. But if that case ever reopens, a whole new can of worms will be open. And I'm thinking that's the moment where Shannon has to pay the price. Annette has to pay the price, and Marcus has to pay the price. Because nowhere in hell is it ever okay for you to do this to children. You don't do this to children. Jarvis set his ass up there in that court, knowing everything that was brought against him. Jarvis Butts did not utter a word in that courtroom. Not a word. Jarvis Butts has no feelings. Jarvis Butts is a cold, calculated monster. We're going to get that out of the way. He's a cold, calculated monster. He's been programmed. You all may not agree with what Moca is saying. But Jarvis Butts' patterns and his behaviors. Jarvis Butts has been programmed to do everything that he's out here doing. And that's the reason Frank did what he did in court. Frank did not want to harm Jarvis Butts. Frank realizes that he's the one that programmed him. He did not want the worst to come out. My beautiful sister Rock, thank you so very much for supporting the channel, baby. She says Annette has to pay justice for Naziah all day long. Frank was there for a reason, and I don't want anybody to get comfortable and run off with the narrative that Frank was going to do A, B, C, nor D to Jarvis because he wasn't going to do shit. He was there to create a disturbance. He was there to let them know I'm here. You all may not see me, but y'all will hear me. You done sit your ass there and you done work with Jarvis Butts all your life, Frank. You met him in prison with the same charges. Jarvis was a walking duck for touching on little girls. Frank too was a walking duck for touching on little girls. Frank had the same charges against him that Jarvis Butts has. The difference between Jarvis Butts and Frank had money, Jarvis had none. Frank was able to get his record expunged. So if you don't have feelings, care, or concern to be around anyone that does something like that to children, Frank, as you try to make us all believe, why would you hire him in the first place? Because you knew his rap sheet. Y'all were there together. Not only did you hire him, you afforded the place of business where him and King did their business after they did it so long in your business. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. So no, Frank, you have secrets as well. The secrets don't only sit with Annette. The secrets don't only sit with Shan. They don't only sit with Marcus. They don't only sit with Jarvis. Frank, you got secrets. Now, Frank, the question is, will your secrets lead us to Naziah? Because in my opinion, that was the only reason you were there. You didn't want nobody to get an emotional and have it to slip out saying where she was. So you wanted to stop it before it gets started. That shit show in the courtroom with Shan. That was another damn distraction. That was another distraction for the truth to not come out. Shannon didn't want to face Jarvis in court. Why should I face the man in court that I still love so much? Why should I face the man in court who I'm still supporting? Why should I face the man in court and say A, B, C, or D about him? And he still means everything to me. That was the reason for her distraction. Let's talk about the reason for Annette fake ass distraction. Because ain't a goddamn thing was wrong with that turtleback, moldy face, casino slot machine pulling, raggedy wig wearing bitch. Hold up. Let's talk about her distraction. Annette was looking for them to call 911. She wanted them to have that type of sympathy for her. She couldn't breathe. She was so emotional. Bitch, you weren't emotional when all this was going on with Naziah because you were sending her out there to do it. That was another distraction. You didn't want to face Jarvis either, Annette. Let's tell the truth. Let's tell the truth. You didn't want to face Jarvis either, Annette. And the reason you didn't want to face Jarvis and created that distraction, ma'am, It's because wherever Naziah is, wherever she is, you know all about it. Stop playing in people's space, because we're going to go back to what Shannon said. Shannon says Tuda gets off of the bus. And I have to remind you all, Shannon said Tuda gets off of the bus every day at 3 o'clock. She walks in the house at exactly 3:05. That's what Shannon said. Shannon said Annette pulled out the driveway at 3 o'clock, going run an errand. Anybody in their right mind, if you pull out the driveway at 3 o'clock going run an errand, you ran across Naziah on her path home. You ran across Naziah on her path home. So let's talk about it. Because I still wonder, did Annette pick Naziah up? Because it ain't. The picture ain't perfect. Annette leaves on the name of running an errand. Stays gone 3 hours. Annette comes back at 6 o'clock p.m. Chad, I need your help on this because we're all mothers. Annette pulls back in her driveway at 6 p.m. on the night. She has Shannon and Marcus' children in the car with her. A normal family that pulls in the driveway, everybody gets out the car, goes in the house, get relaxed, and do whatever they got to do. Now, Naziah has a routine. Get off the bus at 3, in the house at 3:05. I need somebody to make me understand, why was it okay for Annette to pull in her driveway, stay sitting in that raggedy ass van, send one of those children in the house, and ask the question, is Naziah home? If Naziah has a routine, off the bus at 3, in the house by 3:05, why the hell at 6 o'clock, Annette, would you sit your ugly ass in your van and send a child in there to ask, is Tuda home? And you mean to tell me ain't nobody thought that was suspect? And then you sit your ragged ass up there on that witness stand and pretend you so hurt, you so distraught. So y'all all commit Moca with that shit, because at the end of the day, y'all knew. Because if y'all know that each and every night y'all sent those kids out there to the shop with Jarvis, y'all knew that to be true. So tell me why on the night y'all didn't go check the shop. And I can answer why y'all didn't go check the shop. Y'all didn't check the shop because y'all knew what was going on. That's why you could have took your ragged ass to sleep, Annette. Everybody needs to hold a little bit of accountability here. Everybody. Naziah's mama ain't no different. No different. And then y'all gonna put all these other children through all of this because that poor baby, Janiah, had no business. No business as a child standing in the front of a courtroom full of strangers gawking at her to give such a testimony. You hoes don't care about nobody but yourself. Shannon, you don't have custody of your own child. And you don't give a damn about your own child. Because instead of you sitting your block ass head up in that courtroom and being able to lay your eyes on your child and being a supporter of her just going to have to testify, instead of doing that, bitch, you sit up there and you created a distraction. So you shows where your loyalty is. Your loyalty is with Jarvis Butts' funky draws and none with your own flesh and blood. How is it that you don't care about your child? There's more. There's so much more to this. Absolutely, Steffi Jean, there's so much more we weren't privy to. But it ain't over. Absolutely, it's not. Absolutely. And I'm agreeing with all y'all. It ain't over. And y'all going to be surprised if it comes out the way it's supposed to come out. Y'all going to be surprised at the number of people that's involved with this. John Knight, I see you, love. At PJ, Jarvis is full of shit. Hey, Miro, thank you, baby. Jarvis is full of shit. But Jarvis needs to expose what needs to be exposed. Natasha's my girl. She says they know where that baby is. That's why they didn't ask him where she was. They all know. Natasha, they all know. Everybody knows where Naziah is. And I'm going to tell y'all how Moca feel. And I don't sugarcoat shit. I don't hide my feelings from what they've presented and what we know today. They have given us nothing that says Naziah is no longer with us. So I'm going to keep feeling the way I've always felt. She's just hiding. Detroit is sad for this. Very sad for this. How do you just let children keep falling by the wayside and covering that shit up like it's okay? This is not okay. This should not be acceptable nowhere. Not in the country that we live in. How do you let Annette with a history, a track record? And that's another thing. Detroit keeps giving Annette all these foster children. Since when has it become acceptable? Since when has it become all right for children to keep disappearing on Annette's watch? And nobody questions it. Nobody makes an issue out of it. But yet y'all keep giving the children. And y'all allowing this whole to get on the stand and testify the way she testifies. And y'all accept that. And the judge just as raggedy, just as shady, just as phony, just as crooked, just as dirty as the goddamn rest. Because if Annette had a goddamn victim advocate standing there with the judge, Your Honor, Mr. Flip his damn last name to his wife's last name because he wanted to be relevant and keep the crookedness going. How is it that you had to finish reading Annette shit and not the victim's advocate? That's the bullshit I'm talking about. Essie says, Moca, that's why they did not show no remorse on the witness stand. They knew absolutely. Absolutely, Essie. They knew. And it's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. Samantha says, I believe there's more to this story. I also believe Frank threatened Jarvis, which is why he showed his face. Honestly, I don't believe Jarvis. Honestly, I don't believe Jarvis won't make it. He's going to do an A or Frank will do B. Samantha, you already know what time it is. Listen, it's on recording. Another podcaster recorded Frank in court. Let me show you how this shit is all a play, a plot, a scheme. Frank turned around and told this other podcaster, oh yeah, man, I didn't know he was that type of person. He used to work for me and I fired him. I fired him for stealing. Frank, stop the fucking lies right there. You didn't fire Jarvis Butts for stealing. And not only did you say you fired him for stealing, Frank, you went on ahead and said, I'm gonna get him. I already got a body. I already got a body on me. I don't mind getting another one. Now, since when this shit here passes in court and supposed to be acceptable, y'all, it was a pre-planned shit show from the door. From the door. They're all pathetic. I don't give none of them right. None of them. Vari ain't shit. Lady ain't shit. Annette ain't shit. Annette, two waterhead girls ain't shit. That family ain't shit. I see you all up in here, my mods. I see y'all ladies. I see y'all holding the room down. That part, Rock, Annette she suffered financially. Lady, if you don't go ahead, you just told the whole world. When Naziah left La Conga, I see you, sis. She said, Kim Worthless told Annette, we need you to show more emotion this time around. Not that stuff you pulled at the press conference. La Conga, you know what? I kind of believe that. I believe that. Kim says, when are the clowns going to be arrested? They are the reasons why Naziah is not here. Kim Worthless, when are you going to hold them accountable? You said you got your man, not get your girls. Kim Brown, that part, baby. Because she made a whole statement and never acted on it. Y'all know we call them the Enterprise. The Enterprise in that courtroom. If you all saw everything that Moca saw, the Enterprise was really enterprising. Truly, it was enterprising. Beautiful Soul says she's talking about financial. But see, that's all in paperwork. So when he go up for parole, they're gonna be like, this is all about financial. This shit is a whole shit show. Meanwhile, the world is in shambles, wondering where is Naziah. The world is in shambles, right? Annette is not in shambles. Jarvis is not in shambles. Frank is not in shambles. The court's not in shambles. They're all a part of the enterprise. They all know where Naziah is. They will not produce a body. They will not. And you're going to say you heard it here first. They will not produce a body. Because they know exactly where she is. PJ said that judge with his corrupt ass looking like Clark Kent. Absolutely. Absolutely. He has to make a name for himself. He wants to sit even with his wife like he's somebody. Sunshine, I see you, boo. And that's what it is. Annette missed the money that Naziah bought in. You selling this child. Tony said Naziah is gone. And so is our damn money. Naziah was definitely a paycheck. Thank you so very much, Tony. Happy anniversary. Thank you. They enjoyed, they really did. And the fact that they none have children in their custody right now, That says a lot. That says a lot. So is y'all taking those children away from them? That's the temporary fix to make the public shut up, and then y'all going to turn right around and put those children back in that same nasty, filthy, dangerous environment. I got a problem with that. Everything surrounding Annette, everything that she's involved with, every man that she's ever been involved with have charges just like Jarvis Butts. And these people didn't see a problem with that. These people did not see that pattern. So who base are y'all really playing in? Using all the courts and the city's resources for this bullshit here. You can't sleep, Annette. You can't eat, Annette, so you say. But how did you sleep and eat over the years when all these other children came up missing on your fucking watch? Because Naziah ain't the first. And the world knows that Naziah is not the first. So we need you to be looked into. You. How so many children come up missing to never be found again, Annette, and your name is attached to it. And the fucked up part is them water ass head girls know all about it. And they're sitting up there hiding all Annette's filthy, nasty secrets when it comes to these children. And I think the only leverage that Jarvis Butts has right now, and I ain't trying to give him none, because his ass needs to rot for everything he's done. The only leverage I have that I believe Jarvis has right now. Hey, Butterfly Empress, welcome, love, and thank you for supporting the channel. She says, Mocha, why do you think they're hiding Naziah? Or why would Jarvis accept their redrum charge respectfully? Jarvis has to take one for the team, baby. And I'm going to tell you what I mean when I say take one for the team. You see, there's notches in a totem pole. Jarvis is on one of the lower levels on that totem pole. Jarvis has affiliated himself with people just like him. Crime. All different levels of crime. Everything that's being done, Jarvis was trained to do. Frank knows. That's why he showed up the way he showed up. Mocha don't have to go that deep and just base it all around Naziah. Look at Detroit right now and over the years. All of these little girls that's coming up missing in Detroit, they're all around the same age group. That is not a coincidence. That is not a coincidence. Jarvis took the deal that Jarvis took. They handed down the sentence for Jarvis Butts that they did. The enterprise is working inside the courthouse. Those numbers that they gave Jarvis as far as a sentence, that's for paper. That's for show. That's for the people. All the big people tied to this. All the big people connected to this. Jarvis Butts will walk. You may not know it. You may not see it. But a few years from now, go and look up Jarvis Butts in the criminal system and see if he still exists. They're not going to off him in prison. Nothing is going to happen to Jarvis Butts. He's well protected. Jarvis Butts is going to leave Detroit. He's going to leave the great state of Michigan. Plans are already being made to get him out of here. Frank knows exactly where Jarvis is going. He will no longer be Jarvis Butts. He could be Jen, Jarvista, Jashina. He's going to be everything but Jarvis Butts. Jarvis is in no danger. Jarvis is very well protected. I don't give a damn what nobody says. Because nobody that's not protected will show up in court the way Jarvis showed up in court. Jarvis' haircut was as clean and well put together as my hairdo. Y'all think Jarvis in jail suffering? Y'all need to make it make sense. Beautiful Soul said she don't have no more of them. Children income. She don't have no more selling that baby income. And she should have went down for welfare fraud. Absolutely. 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 Janice, welcome, my love. Janice said it was all about the money. Anyway, because it wasn't about Naziah. Absolutely was not. Absolutely. She makes herself look stupid. I lost financially, but nobody picked it up. She didn't want Naziah. She wanted what Naziah could have done for her. CM, I see you, my love. CM said, Moca, she doesn't know what she means. Hell, she was reading from a piece of paper to pull at people's heartstrings. And that's just what the hell she did. But she failed at it miserably. PJ says, Annette, turn your broke lying ass in. She should want her. Because if she don't do it willingly, the universe go walk her there slowly. Hey, Teresa, welcome, boo. Teresa says, Moca, I think Annette needed Naziah not to be pregnant. To get rid of that baby, she couldn't make money. Being pregnant, it didn't matter who she was pregnant by. It just went way too far, in my opinion. Teresa, I agree. And you know what's another thing? You know what's another thing, Teresa? There's nobody of Naziah's. So how, and if y'all notice, they charged Jarvis with redrum, right? Y'all got to look at how this shit going down. They charged Jarvis with redrum. So if Naziah was truly pregnant, Teresa, let's talk about it. If Naziah was truly pregnant, baby, why was Jarvis not charged with that unborn baby? So where does Naziah was pregnant for Jarvis Butts? Where does that fit in the script? Jarvis Butts got rid of Naziah because he didn't want the baby. How does that align? What makes Naziah being pregnant by Jarvis Butts any different from any young girl that's been pregnant by Jarvis Butts? Jarvis Butts got babies all over Detroit by underage girls, and it's been happening for years. So what makes Naziah carrying a baby for Jarvis Butts any difference? I need y'all to help me with that one. I really do. I really do. Y'all understand what I just said? Because you charged him with redrum. You charged him with redrum, but you didn't charge him with the baby. So what happened to the baby? What happened to the pregnancy that y'all said Naziah had? Because if you're going to charge me with it all. You can't pick and choose what you want to charge me with. Y'all claim when y'all first arrested Jarvis Butts had images. Images of Naziah and other young girls. And that was set for sale, trafficking. That's what that's the charge y'all had on it. So make me understand. Y'all not charging them for a baby. The trafficking charges disappeared. The original charge that he turned himself in for, the weapons charge, that disappeared. Detroit, talk to Moca. What the hell y'all really got going on? Y'all go stop. Y'all gonna stop. Drag racing, I see you, boo. Hey, Tony said Moca. That's what got me. That's what got me, Moca. You called it. You called it. You called Naziah's mom lady. You called Naziah glamorous. It brings me back to the cartoon Lady and the Tramp. Absolutely. So Annette, that sounds like a worker to me. Lady's name in real life is Kenyatta. How the hell do you get Lady out of Kenyatta? Naziah's name is Naziah. How do you get glamorous out of that? And you mean to tell me them family members sat there and they saw that Annette had a working operation, but nobody had nothing to say? That shit was acceptable. How do you love somebody that much? Have that much faith and belief in somebody while looking at them destroy other people's lives? Big Mama, I see you, my love. She said the only thing left to do now, stay on top of Wayne County CPS to keep the kids from going back. How you think that's going to work? How you think that's going to work, Big Mama? CPS failed those children. CPS is the ones that left those children in harm's way. I don't trust CPS as far as I see the C, the P, and the S, because they can't protect shit. CPS put all those children in harm's way by ignoring reports of abuse. The only reason those children got placed elsewhere is because this particular case surrounding Naziah Harris, it took a turn that they weren't expecting. So CPS removed them at the word of Kim Worthy. So the spotlight would not be shown on the injustices to children by that department. I'm just saying. Janet says the wicked grandma should not be able to get any of that lawsuit money. It should go to her brother. They shouldn't even allow them to file a lawsuit against nobody. How do you allow these people to file a lawsuit against anybody? Listen, damn it, listen, Linda. Damn, Moca, you done caught Flashback. Annette filing a lawsuit is a get-rich-quick scheme. How do you go to stand if your grandbaby is gone? You go to stand, lady. The first thing comes out of your mouth is, and which is really fucked up, since Naziah has been gone, that affected me financially. Okay, that's number one. Then at your same lip, you brought up Roxy and the GoFundMe. So this shit is not all about Naziah. It's about the absence of dollar signs in your home. But Annette, stop lying to the people. Because if Naziah really hurt you financially, you would have not made the decision that you made, Annette. Let's talk about the decision you made. Because Moca ain't making up shit. Moca's just throwing your shit back to you. You stood there at that press release. Annette, I'm going to remind you. You stood at that press release, ma'am. And that's why Detroit ain't shit. They allowed you to do it. They accepted it. You stood at that press release. Now, mind you, weeks prior to the press release, you had gone to that raggedy ass school and you reported Naziah as a runaway at the school. Not at the police department, at the school. That was number one. Follow me, y'all. 30 plus days it took for DPD to get a wind of Naziah being gone. 30 plus days. So once DPD gets it, they tell Annette, oh no, we got to do a press conference. This child been gone too long. Annette refused. Annette did not want to do a press conference. So they had to come up with another tactic. Bitch, if you don't do a press conference, we will lock you up for withholding evidence. That kind of scared her a little bit. Annette got up there and did that press conference. Annette stood in that press conference. Now, please don't let go of the fact that she reported this child as a runaway. That's number one. At the press conference, Annette stood there. Another non-emotional act. Annette's exact words were, y'all don't know why y'all took her. Y'all don't know what's going on. Y'all took her and y'all don't really know. Annette never said bring Naziah back. Annette said Naziah could be in danger. So make me understand why Annette wasn't investigated, y'all. Annette reported this child as a runaway. Did the press conference and said y'all took her. Those two things cannot be true at the same damn time. They just cannot. So if Annette is looking to sue anybody, that's the moment Annette needs to be locked the hell up because it's a money grab. Just Mona, thank you for being a member for 9 months, boo. Spicy says, no, Kim, hey, Spicy. Kim says they knew they had 40 years of complaints to CPS and police reports. That's proof they knew this for years. Absolutely. And it went right along with it. Went right along with it. Lord, I'm so far behind. Let me catch up on some of y'all comments. This is insane. Sunshine says, Mocha, you know what I'm not understanding? Is why wasn't King locked up with lawnmower teeth on these charges? That's a good question. That's a damn good question. Because we are aware that King did a whole lot of lying as well. King did a whole lot of lying as well. But this girl is not. No, no. Lady D, I see you, boo. She said they want us to shut up about this case. It's too late for that. It's too damn late for that. My girl, Lady Libra, I see you, boo. Lady Libra says, I do believe she's alive. And that's why only the family will know the whereabouts of the body. Bingo. People don't understand that. People don't understand that because why is it we're going to court? We're in open court for sentencing. This man, Detroit ain't shit because how do you give a plea deal to a criminal like Jarvis Butts? And then in that plea deal, you have to truthfully tell us where the body is. Y'all ain't requiring shit else. But this is the kicker to it all. The only people that knows the whereabouts of Naziah's remains or her body, as they call it, and that's how I'm going to word it, as they call it. Nobody will ever know. According to them, they said Kim Worthy said Jarvis Butts gave her a satisfactory testimony or whatever he put in the plea deal, and she's satisfied with that. So if she says she's satisfied, we ain't getting no information. So we don't even need to stress it, sweat it. But the only people that gets this information, right? The only people that gets the information as to where Naziah's so say remains are is Annette, Shannon, Marquita, Kim Worthy, Jarvis Butts. That's all who supposedly know. Y'all don't find something wrong with that? Yeah, y'all don't find something wrong with that. So you mean to tell me what's gonna come next? They're gonna get with a fake ass funeral home or somebody, and no, they're gonna say she was cremated. That's what's gonna come up next. Wait for it. Wait for it. Natasha said that wig was smothering her ass. Naziah was holding her by the throat. Absolutely. Hey, Nissa No, Nissa she ain't going there. Nah, girl, she ain't gone. She ain't gone. Lady Libra says, and they had a fake shooter. Girl, that shooting had absolutely nothing to do with that trial. Because I question that too. Why would Fox News turn off the coverage for the Jarvis Butts case? So you mean to tell me Fox News only had one camera? One camera. Ladies D said there was no tears, no remorse. She sat on that stand and disrespected Vari and Naziah. A Shrell? Tony said, why haven't we seen Kim Worthless funky ass just like Jarvis saw Naziah? Annette ass seen her as well. Absolutely. Absolutely. Kim ain't trying to come out here and phase the people. Rashina says because Naziah wasn't home. And she knew it. Why Shannon ass didn't call her when she didn't come home? It's all lies. Absolutely, sis. These people think we slow. Cynthia Holman said they were operating a trafficking ring, I believe. Shanier, welcome, boo. Big Mama said that was dumb of Frank to bring attention to himself. Shannon acted an ass. Should have showed CPS how she really feels about her kids. A whole shit show. Baby, the zoo was loose. The zoo was absolutely loose. PJ said, Moca. Let's go, PJ. PJ said, Moca. Maybe, just maybe, Annette met up with Naziah. Took her to the shop for all we know. Those demons came in the gate from the beginning line. Absolutely. Absolutely, because it makes no sense. How is it that Naziah gets off the bus at 3 o'clock? Shannon confirmed Naziah walks in the house every day at 3:05, and Annette mysteriously, coincidentally, pulls out of her driveway at 3 o'clock. I don't give a damn if she'd have pulled out of her driveway at 2:59, 3:01. She would have ran into Naziah along the way. Why did he didn't question Annette asking her what errand she ran? Why did he didn't question Annette as to where was she between those hours? That shit has been staged from the gate. I don't give a damn what they say. Walk like a duck, quack like a duck, shit like a duck, a whole bunch of damn ducks. Big Mama says Annette pulled all the theatrics out. All of them. She showed no emotions in the preliminary. Absolutely. You better, Samantha, you better talk about it. Annette is definitely the hub. Annette is the gatekeeper in all of this shit. All of it. All of it. Beautiful Soul said all the women that Jarvis was with was slow. They had very, very low self-esteem. The man used all of y'all as appetizers. And them poor kids was the main course. Absolutely, Beautiful Soul. Absolutely. Absolutely. And he had a certain type. A certain type. A certain type. Sabrina says, well, Vari was in the court. He needs to speak up for his sister if he really loved her. Tell what went on in that house when he was there. That would be wishful thinking. That's what we would love to see happen. That's what we would love to see happen. But those children have been programmed. They have been programmed. But in my heart of hearts, I believe Naziah's birth mother. I believe Lady knows a lot. Lady have not come to the forefront, not one time. And I'm going to say it over and over and over again. Ain't that much substance in the world that's going to keep me from me and mine. So they give her $10 here, they give her $10 there to keep her numb. They give it to her to keep her numb. But she knows. She knows. She knows. Somebody needs to come in. Somebody needs to come in and look at this case more closely. Somebody needs to come in and pick up this shit because there's no. Teresa says Vari should tell his story in full detail. The whole world will be watching. You know what's so sad? These people ain't doing shit without money being involved. Nothing. Even Vari. Hey, Lucia. Lucia says, what money got to do with a grandbaby being missed? Absolutely, Lucia, but not for Annette. Tony says, Frank is one of the big wigs. Absolutely. Thank you, my beautiful sister, for supporting the channel as always. Frank is one of the big wigs since Kim Wortley's funky ass was in there. And after he witnessed to Annette impact statement was read, he left. Samantha, I will never let go of what he said. Others can believe what they want, but it's right there. Right there. Big Perm said it best. She's so close yet so far. She's alive. She's alive, and the game that they're playing is dangerous. Hey, Passion, be welcome, boo. Portia says, I believe that she's hiding, and she's going to be brought to justice. Absolutely, Portia. Absolutely, boo. Absolutely. 40 years of CPS. But look, they don't care. These people don't care. Kenyatta, I see you, boo. Boo Banger, what's going on? Boo Banger said at night Naziah was missing. Marva went to sleep. No problem. What real concerned adult gonna go to sleep? Now she talking about she can't sleep. Well, Marva need to make it make sense. Marva can't sleep. Marcus with that fake ass impact statement. These people just ran a whole play. And nobody picking it up. Hey, Beverly, welcome, my love. Doreen, I see you. Doreen said Frank came out the woodworks. Tony said, so Moca, Annette and them dill pickle daughters are supposedly scared? Shit, not the way they have all that air in their chest. Neither one of them said to Jarvis Butts, where's Naziah? Let me tell you, there's a reason people don't understand. There's a reason Annette never said, where is Naziah? There's a reason why Marcus never said, where is Naziah? There's a reason why Shannon created that disturbance in the courtroom. There's a reason why Frank did what he did. They all know where Naziah is, y'all. Don't leave here thinking that they don't know. Everything that they did, everything that they said, everything points back to them knowing what they know. Naziah ain't no damn Rouge River. We know this. We know this. How the hell Kim Worthy come out here? We got our man. This lady said this. But Shannon was never investigated. Annette was never investigated. They never grabbed these people's devices. They never searched the homes. They never spoke to the men that laid up in there that was around the family. They never interviewed nobody. Because I believe if they would have interviewed Dre, they would have got some information. I don't think he would have took that chance of lying. He could have told them why he painted all them walls. He could have told them what was going on in there. And they didn't need Dre. They didn't need Dre. All they had to do was go look at that goddamn video where Annette was cursing them children out early that morning when they was on their way to school. And I'm pretty sure Shannon, in her desperate attempts of wanting a man, any man, Shannon then laid there many nights and told Jarvis Butts many stories. Jarvis Butts is sitting with a lot of arsenal under his belt. You can best believe that. Tony want to know why was other people standing on the witness stand with them. Only the sister stood on business when because they want to appear to be victims, baby. Terrific. I see you, my love. Welcome, welcome. They want to be victims. They really want to be victims. Those people standing next to them were victim advocates. Jarvis Butts' sister didn't need a goddamn advocate because she was real about it. She spoke from her chest. Something a grandmother who went to the courts and got this child on paper legally, adopting her to make sure that money was secured. You mean to tell me a child you reared from 2 years old up until her disappearance and you couldn't say a damn thing from your heart about her? It had to be written on paper? That's crazy. Butterfly, thank you so very much once again for supporting the channel. Why do you all think Roxy wasn't in court? Because she's no different. She's no different from nobody else. A squeaky wheel makes a lot of noise. A lot of noise. She wasn't in court because her hands ain't clean either. We got to call it for what it is. A squeaky wheel makes a lot of noise. With all that shit she been doing, no. She may have started off with good intentions. I would not take that away from her. But it became outrageous. Bubanga says no one will know. No one will know where Jarvis is going due to security reasons. People will find out once he touches down at his final jail. They ain't gonna know that either. I'm telling you, he's gonna vanish. I don't know where Marty at tonight, y'all. You selling damn children. That same money is going to make you look the worse than what you already looking at. Money. Tammy, thank you for being a Nola Bell for 2 months, boo. She want to know why can't the FBI step back in. DPD told them they ain't need them. Thank you, my sister Sheena. A member for 7 months. Mocha the truth. It ain't up for debate. Queen Keisha, I see you. She said, right, Mocha, because he had a 2-year-old. He been cheating on Shannon. Shannon was not his number one. Shannon did not have nothing Jarvis wanted. All Shannon was able to do for Jarvis is to provide him with children. And he wanted them children to do just what he's been doing to children. And it's so unfortunate. And let me show you the crookedness in the judicial system. Shannon, the day after Naziah's disappearance, let me show you how the mind of these slow-ass people work. The day after Naziah's disappearance, Shannon goes down to the court to file paternity for her children. You gotta be a slow bitch to take your dumb ass down to the courts and file paternity on 5 children that you proudly brag is, Jarvis got 5, I got 5 children with Jarvis. When you know damn well, Shannon, you physically had 3. And the other 2 And that's why I always said that you was holding a spade hand. You had 3 children and 2 possibles. When the results came back, paternity said Jarvis Butts had, no, Shannon Harris was the mother of 3 of those kids. There's question marks as to who's the mother to those other 2 children. Big Mama, thank you, my love, for supporting the channel, boo. Thank you so very much. And you mean to tell me the court didn't pick up on that? So what is Kim Worthless really doing if she really wanted a goddamn case? Terrific, I see you, sis. Lady Libra says, I believe Annette handed her over to Jarvis and King at 3 o'clock. Absolutely, at 3 o'clock. We got to make it make sense. Because what the hell, you working on a Jaguar, but y'all going back and forth to AutoZone. That story didn't even make no damn sense. And look how far y'all tried to make the world believe Naziah walked from her bus stop to go meet Jarvis. You people got to stop all that damn lying. And I pray to God somebody picks this up and prove y'all to be the liars that y'all are. And make that spotlight shine just a little bigger on Shannon, Annette, Marcus, King, Frank, the bishop, all of y'all. You can't sleep. You can't eat. But you could go to the casino. Sit your ass down in that. Queen Keith said he was going to prison once Naziah wasn't going to tell on him. No, she wasn't. That responsibility would have fell in the hands of Annette. Because Naziah at that age had no business being pregnant. This shit was all scripted and people don't see the play. It was all scripted. Sheena Boo, thank you so very much for the cash app, my love. Hey, Deborah Crosby, welcome to the chat, my love. I see a lot of people still believing he unalived Naziah. A lot of people is still believing he unalived Naziah. And if y'all think about it, and if y'all really been following this case, the evidence that lines up with what we know today, it don't lead to he unalived Naziah. We're only going along with what they have been feeding us. The evidence says different. Queen B said, how come Shannon and her big head twin don't have a nickname? Do you see them? Does it look like anybody? Does it look like anybody want to lay with them? I'm just asking. I'm seriously just asking. I'm just asking. All they both were good for was laying up there and being somebody that somebody want to play with for the moment. That's it, that's all. Lady D said call them Possum 1 and Possum 2. Dr. J said Moca. Lady and Gorgeous are street names, pimp names. Makes no sense at all. Absolutely. She ruined her own bloodline. But them twins couldn't go to work. Chucky, I see you, boo. The twins couldn't go to work. They couldn't generate an income. They couldn't put, no. Sunshine said, Mocha, shit, CPS don't give a rat's ass. Allegedly, there was a lady stating that CPS trying to give that Timu wig, oh Lord, her kids as we speak. You know what? Let me highlight that, Sunshine. I'm going to let that sit there for a second. I'm going to let that sit there for a second because I want you all to chime in on what Sunshine just said. So you mean to tell me the judge made a decision on Thursday? We ain't even made a whole week yet since the sentencing. So you mean to tell me allegedly it's going around these YouTube streets that a lady is helping Annette get her kids back? I don't believe that shit. I don't believe it. Now, with Detroit, it may be possible. But I'm just going to tell you, Mocha don't believe it. Bridget, I see you, boo. I don't believe it. Mm-mm. So I guess that same lady is helping Shannon get hers back. That same lady is going to go to Debo and take the other two back. That little girl, Janiah, will never look at Shannon the same again. Make it make sense. Miss Detroit, I see you, boo. Absolutely, Rock. Something needs to be done with CPS. Something needs to be done with CPS. And I believe if those little girls have a voice, if those children have a voice, they could say where they don't want to be. Those children can't be going back to neither one of them, y'all. If we want to protect the children, those children can't be going back. Big Mama says, I don't think CPS wants any more heat on them this time. Absolutely, Big Mama. They don't. Rashida says she ain't got no lawsuit at all. If Jarvis unalive baby girl, who the hell is she suing? Because she can't sue the state. Boom. You got to make this shit make sense. You can't sue Jarvis. So who you suing, boo? You can't sue Jarvis. No nonsense. I see you, my love. My girl Kenyatta says, I'm mad. Because they don't have charges on that damn monster and them two big back twins. Oompa and Loopa. Let's not give up hope. Them charges got to be coming. I don't know where they coming from, but something got to happen. Boo Banger says when a person shows you their true colors, baby, you better believe them. Because all Annette is worried and focused on is money. Money this, money that. All of them is dishonest, evil-hearted, and the creator handles all. You better look, it ain't over. It ain't over. Deborah Crosby says as a grandmother, there's no way in hell I would sit up in court looking like the cats done played in that wig. Shame on her. Miss Detroit, this was a mess. Chucky says, Chucky, don't buy it, Chucky. Don't buy that shit, Chucky. Chucky said, my girl ain't dead. I'm not buying it. There's no evidence that leads to that she is. She's moving on the chain. She's moving along the chain, y'all. Annette knows that. This shit is shady. Tony said Annette needs to sit her ass down with them damn lies. If Naziah ran away with the boy, why would you say that the people who took her don't know that she could be in danger and money is a total lie? Absolutely, Tony. Absolutely. Absolutely. Mr. Troy said they said he told them where she's at when they found those clothes on Berg and 7 Mile. But they've been found them clothes 2 years ago. 2 years ago. I don't believe that either. Trina said it made a deal to stay out of jail. And that's what, and King, Frank knew what he was doing. King is definitely in charge. This is sad. Dr. JD, I see you, boo. Dr. JD says, spinning the narrative is the act of presenting facts, events, or situations in a specifically curated way, emphasizing, exaggerating, or omitting details to influence the public's perception. God damn. And that's what the court did. That's what Annette did. That's what the DA did. And they want us to believe that. Mariah, I see you, my love. Hey, Denise. Welcome. Denise said all this BS is not God's plan. Them idiots didn't get away with nothing. The real judge have not spoke yet. You better talk it. You better talk it, because the God I know, love, and serve will not let this stand. But absolutely not. That child deserved none of this. Absolutely none of it. Annette should be ashamed of herself. And I mean literally ashamed. But we know she has no shame. She's been doing this for years. For years. But the difference between what she's been doing and what she's still attempting to do, the difference is this time she got caught. This time she got caught. And she didn't get caught intentionally. She didn't know Naziah wasn't an ordinary kid. She didn't know that when God allowed Naziah to be in her care, God kept that hedge of protection around Naziah. The life that Naziah grew up in, the struggles this baby endured from an infant. Then she goes to Annette at 2 years old. Annette knew she only needed Naziah name, social security number as an income. Physically, she didn't want Naziah. At 2 years old, Naziah moved in with Shannon and Jarvis. And if Jarvis on his record has a charge for molesting and infecting a 4-year-old, what make you, me, or anybody else think, and that 4-year-old is his own child. So what make you, me, or anybody else think that Jarvis didn't start touching Naziah at a very, very, very early age? And they all knew about it. Make it make sense. Shannon proud to be with the man. Proud to be around here with the man that's walking around here with the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s. Proud to be with a man knowing that she knew he was being with her own daughter. But proud to be with that man. There's no damn way the courts should have let any of this fly. And when I say they got secrets and they're protecting people, Jarvis is walking around here with the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s. I understand court lingo. I understand the tests that they have to take before being admitted into these institutions. But the wording from that judge does not say it said treatment. You only get treatment for ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. When you got ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. And the sad part about it is, in all those case numbers that was called out in that courtroom, the stipulations for ABCs and 1, 2, 3s came out only on one specific case. Big Mama says, did Frank say in court that he changed the name of the shop and closed some down? Yes, ma'am, he did. Yes, ma'am, he did. Hey, Trent. Trent says, do you think the breaking news that interrupted the court live was a setup? Absolutely. Absolutely. It was a whole setup. Because then you got to think about it. A whole news reporter, a whole news station. You mean to tell me, even if there was another incident going on besides the breaking news with Jarvis Butts, you mean to tell me there was only one news camera? We got to make this shit make sense. You mean to tell me there was only one news camera and one news reporter? So now Fox News. So now Fox News is using one reporter to cover things from one end of Detroit to the next. Stop the lies. Baby, listen. This shit is tacky. Tacky. Thank you, Sunshine. I see it, boo. I see it. Thank you. Girl, ugh. I'm going to look into it, though. Big Mama says, I think Naziah is getting her power back. I pray to God she is. And we'll tell them she doesn't want to go back with Shannon or Annette. This has made her grow up faster, and she won't let Shannon mistreat her again. Big Mama, that child got a lot of courage. A lot of it. A lot of it. To stand in that courtroom. And I know it hurt her. But that child done what most adults couldn't do. But you know what hurt me more than anything? That child hadn't already been to court once. Gave her testimony. Gave her statement. That's why I knew it was all a shit show. And they didn't give a rat's ass who feelings were hurt. They didn't care who was bothered by what happened in that court in that moment. That child hadn't already done her job. So why would you put her back up there to go through that shit again? Why? Vari was sitting his little ass in court. Why y'all didn't pull him to do a victim impact? Y'all had testimony, written testimony, documented testimony from the preliminary. Why bring this child back through that again? God got Janiah too. Oh yeah, terrific. A, B, C's and 1, 2, 3s, boo. Bubanga says, if he did it to his own, he will do it to anybody's child. Them kind of monsters don't have picks. From 2 to 92, they don't care. He's the meaning of from 8 to 80. And it's sick and nasty and trifling. And he got ABCs. Absolutely, Bubanga. He got the ABCs. Miss Gemini said, Mocha, she's alive. She's out of the country. I'm going to stop reading, girl. And I'm going to just sit there for a second. Miss Gemini says, Mocha, she's alive. She's out of the country. Just watch. Watch Frank leave the country next. There are still higher people in charge of this ring. Absolutely, Miss Gemini. And he's getting his orders from somebody too. He really is. And it's easy for him to come and go. It's easy for him to come and go without any detection, baby. God moves in mysterious ways. God show you things. God present things. And we don't understand why they're being presented at the time they're being presented. We don't, it's not like we're trying to connect dots because we don't know what dots we're connecting. But right at the time of Naziah's disappearance, y'all, right at the time of her disappearance, Frank's country, all over the news, that's when they changed the laws. That's when they changed the laws right around the time of this child's disappearance. And they made it legal for little girls at the age of 8 to be able to become somebody's wife. I hope y'all know that shit stuck with me and never left. So she's hiding. Boo Banger ain't shit. Boo Banger say he got A, B, D, D, E, F, and G. Eight. Damn, Boo Banger gave him all the alphabets. All of them. Venetia, I hear you, boo. Did you hear Frank's confession on the secret tape recorder? I heard him. I heard him, girl. The mailman did say you're getting health care. Yeah. Yeah. His own sister told him you can get the treatment that you need. Trina said Roxy said that about it months ago. Guys, could you all be so kind? Hit the like button for your girl. And tap, tap, tap those emojis to the right. Hey, Greta. Greta said, I believe that too. She's alive, not knowing what she's going through. This is a lot. This is more than any child. Hell, not a child, more than any adult should want to go through. Portia said it nicknames this thing dumb and thing dumber. But my thing is, when you got a judge, when you got a judicial system that don't want to do what's right, we in trouble. We are definitely in trouble. Boo Banger said he need treatments. It's too late. These things didn't have to go this far. This is more than anybody want to go through facts. Absolutely. But they allow these. Hey, Carla, welcome, my love. Carla said they want things to look normal to society, but they're far from it. Lies upon lies. It don't pay for nobody to get in trouble in Detroit. Nobody. Because y'all ain't protected. Y'all ain't protected. And it starts with a judge. It starts with a judge that don't mind changing his last name to his wife's last name, because his wife's last name carries weight in the judicial system in Detroit, and their hands are dirty and tied to all kind of dirty stuff. So if he was truly an upright judge, he would have kept the name that his mom and his pa gave him. But instead, he wanted to be tied to corruption and have a name behind himself. Therefore, I want to be a part of the in crowd. So let me go ahead on and change my name and push my weight around and get in with the good old boys. Because that's just what the fuck he done. We got to call it for what it is. We can't keep sitting on this shit like it's okay, like it's acceptable, and we're looking right at it. We can't just keep looking at this shit and just letting it all slide by and sweeping it under the table like it's all right. We can't do that. Because we're going to keep losing our children to the system. Do you all realize the statistics of so many wrongfully incarcerated men on trumped up ass charges? Because these same men got caught up in an enterprise for a few nickels and dimes here and there. And now you got to sacrifice your own soul, take one for the team, not to implicate bigger people. And then send your ass up the river. But at the end of the day, all of the talking, all of the courtrooms, all of the fake ass statements, it all comes back to one thing. Naziah Harris. Naziah should still be talked about in a good way. Still going to J.E. Clark Elementary. Still getting on and off the bus. Still sitting in that nasty ass basement doing her TikTok dances. That's who Naziah Harris is. That's what she should still be doing. And no matter what, they say, no matter how many court day passes, no matter how many people try to move on, over here, the truth about what happened to Naziah matters. The truth as we know it, that they don't want us to know, it matters. Because anytime a child's life is taken, destroyed. Questions don't just go away. People that's paying attention don't stop paying attention. All we wait is for the truth to surface. And no matter how much pushing and pressing we have to do for the truth, it has to come. So just know this. There are still pieces of this story that haven't been told, and we know there are. If there are still people who know more than what's been said, and we know that too, to be true. I know y'all asses is in the bushes. So I want y'all all to understand this. The questions, the conversations, they ain't going nowhere. And as long as we keep asking those questions and having these conversations, the truth always has a way of finding its way back to the damn light. Nola Bells, Nola Bowes, cousins and friends. On this great old Monday, we're back. And I thank you all for coming and sitting on the porch with me. If you have not yet hit that like button, make sure you do so on your way out the door. And for those of you that's going to catch your replay, I want to hear from you too. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you think about everything we talked about tonight. Because one thing is for sure, Naziah Harris matters over here. Naziah Harris matters over here. And before we close this porch tonight, I want to leave y'all with one last question. After everything we done talked about, the sentencing, the ragged ass family, and all the shit that don't make sense, do y'all believe the full truth about Naziah has already come out? Do y'all believe Annette, Frank, Shan, Marcus knows more than what they've said? This is a shame. This is a shame. We're going to end this live stream right here. We're going to say God bless and good night, but we are going to celebrate Naziah up in this chat because we feel what we feel over here. We feel what we feel over here, and all we want to know is, where is Naziah? She matters. She matters. Stop telling these people, I got my man and I feel or believe. Naziah and her unborn baby, who is definitely Jarvis Butts' baby, is no longer here with us. Okay, so Naziah's baby was definitely Jarvis Butts' baby, but that's a conversation for another day. Shut your mouth, Moca. Let's flood the chat. Justice for Naziah. Flood the chat. Justice for Naziah. Hearts for Naziah. This ain't over. This ain't over. It's a straight cover-up. I love you all. We've come out here to do what we had to do. Good night. God bless.
We stand tall, we rise as one. No lapels, the work ain't done. No. Motivated from the heart, never run. Truth and caring, everything we become. It's more than a vibe, it's a home, it's a call. Over here we catch each other when we fall. This is family. This is family. full of truth and a chat full of cheer. Mocha in the seat, steady steering the ship. Every topic got depth, every comment got grip. We don't tear folks down, we just build them up. If you're moving off love, then you one of us. Know the pride in the room and the vibe so loud. Every bell in the check gon' rep that crowd. We stand tall, we rise as one. Know the bells, the work ain't done. Won't you lead from the heart, never run. Truth and care in everything we become. It's more than a vibe, it's a home, it's a call. Over here we catch each other when we fall. This is family. This is family. This is family. And we stand tall. Down in the NOLA where the soul don't break. Mocha built the lane where the real ones stay. Ain't no faking the funk, ain't no playing for clout. You bring that mess, we gon' sort that out. But this ain't about drama, it's about love. It's about healing, it's about trust. Every child, every voice, every name in the breeze. We gon' stand for the ones no one else gon' see. So we rise tall, we rise as one. Oh no, low bellows, the work ain't done. Won't you lead it from the heart, never run. Truth and care in everything we become. It's more than a vibe, it's a home, it's a call. Over here we catch each other when we fall. This is family. This is family. This is family. And we stand tall. One mic, one tribe, one mission in mind. We protect what's right and we hold that line. It's the chat where the truth and the love collide. Where the voices don't hide and the pain gets light. We see you, we feel you, we fight for the cause. Every kid, every tear, we break down walls. When you hear that bell, that's the call to act. We family now, and that's just facts. We stand tall, we rise as one. Know the bells, the work ain't done. Won't you lead it from the heart, never run. Truth and care in everything we become. It's more than a vibe, it's a home, it's a call. Over here we catch each other when we fall. This is family. This one's for every voice we fight for and every child who needs to be heard. We see you, we feel you. We stand with the truth. This is the NOLA Bells. Leave a comment, like, share, and subscribe. Stand tall with join the family.
Good night, everyone. God bless. Make sure you have your notifications set so you know when we are coming back live. Have a good night, everyone.